back. You have stumbled on a stunning episode of Whining About Pest Control. If you're just joining us, I'm Shelby Hartzer of 360 Pest Consulting, and I've got a good one today. I've been seeing a lot more of this insect outside, particularly this year over previous years, which happens. Today, I am whining about bumblebees, and for this episode, I'm drinking a bubbly bee's knees cocktail because bees, and my glass says bees too. See? Cheers. Nice summer cocktail. Some of you are probably already yelling at your screens going, but Chelle, bumblebees are not a pest. This is where we have to go back to the rather fuzzy definition of a pest. Google comes up with a definition of a destructive insect or other animal that attacks crops, food, livestock, etc. Pretty much describes my little sister. We know that bumblebees are an insect, and if you've ever been stung by a bumblebee, which is highly unlikely, I think you might agree that these can cause harm. Those of us in the pest control industry also know that customers can freak out anytime they see some striped flying thing. Let's whine about what control looks like for bumblebees. As I just mentioned, some people think that any yellow and black insect that flies is cause for panic. And there's a lot of yellow and black stripy flying things out there. So ID is important. Bumblebees are most often mistaken as carpenter bees and vice versa. Sometimes honeybees and rarely wasps. Carpenter bees are bigger. They have this shiny black abdomen, and bumblebees are still robust, but they're a little bit smaller and they're going to be fuzzy all over. Honeybees are about half the size of our bumblebees. You can also make a good guess on species depending on what season you're in. Carpenter bee males are the first to come out in spring, followed by the females. After that, or now if you're in my area, you see bumblebees, and it's the start of honeybees if the weather is warm enough. Bumblebees will actually be out in much cooler weather than honeybees can tolerate. All of this does matters because they're all going to be found in different spots. You can always go back, listen to those previous episodes about carpenter bees and honeybees. We'll put the link down below. Bumblebees are social. They form hives, typically in the ground or lower areas like rock walls, other types of hollows. Unlike honeybees, these die out at the end of every year, and a new queen is going to overwinter and start the process again in spring. If there is a need to control bumblebees, you're going to have to look at ground level for the colony, and it's probably covered up with dirt or hidden away. A better control option is to trim back flowering plants from where people are spending time outdoors. We cannot apply anything to flowering plants because we want to protect the pollinators, and the only thing that bumblebees want is nectar and pollen. Customers are going to have to make that choice between having flowering plants and not having bees. The only other control option we have as professionals is communication. Bumblebees hardly ever sting. It takes a lot to get a bumblebee pissed off enough to sting you. Since their colonies die out at the end of every year, they don't build up in those massive numbers like honeybees can, so there's just going to be fewer of them flying around. They are incredibly beneficial pollinators, even though honeybees seem to get all the love for that. And unlike carpenter bees, these don't cause any damage. Those are my talking points, at least, for carpenter bees, and this aspect of being a potential pest and being a beneficial insect is one of the many reasons pest control is not easy. It gives us a lot to whine about, though. So until future episodes on stinging pests, go grab a glass, be nice to our bees, whine to me about your bumblebee and other stinging pests. I can help. Hit all those fun buttons down below so you don't miss out on any of those next whining episodes. Here's to our stunning little bumblebees. Cheers.